Welcome back everyone, and in this video we will be taking a look at the 6-inch Skeletron Wolf Trooper, aka Red Shadow's pilot of the Skeletron, and also the Jungle Wolf Trooper. Now I did do a first look at the Jungle Trooper for channel members, so feel free to head on over to that video if you're a channel member. Otherwise sit back and let's have a look at both figures here. So what's Skeletron, you might ask? Well, bloody good question, and let's start off with that. So Skeletron was a Kickstarter that wanted to bring to life the Palitoy vehicle from the 80s Action Force live here in the UK. The designers cleverly made the vehicle compatible for both 3.75 and 6-inch pilot figures with the ability to swap out the cockpit seat. Collaborators on the project have included Bob Brechin from Palitoy and Chris McLeod of the Full Force Weekly YouTube fame. But let's be honest, if like me, you're a 6-inch action figure collector, you're here for the 6-inch figures. So let's dive into that. So let's have a look at the Wolf Trooper and what he comes with. The Jungle Wolf Trooper also comes with the same accessories, but in a camo pattern. So as you can see, the figures have a jetpack, 2 Wolverine-style claws, which clip onto the wrist armor of the figure, a set of fisted hands, a blast effect and a pair of grenades, the figure himself and a Wolf Trooper helmet. Some lovely artwork of the character going into battle by the look of things on the front of the packaging. 2 sci-fi style rifles. The top of the box says Red Shadows, and this is number 02 in the series. Same info on one side of the box, and some lovely space style artwork on the other side, and then a write-up biography about the character on the back of the box. So the data file tells us this is a Wolf Trooper soldier. He is airborne infantry and also an aerospace pilot. And so the Wolf Troopers are recruited from the ranks of hardened soldiers with suitable psychological profiles. Wolf Troopers are elite hunters who relentlessly pursue their prey across land, sky and space. Trained and equipped with advanced experimental technology, a Wolf Trooper formidable arsenal includes a radiation-shielded armoured suit with HUD helmet, personal jetpack, zero-gravity firearms and titanium composite combat claws. Exceptional Wolf Troopers are tested for their resilience and abilities in the most punishing G-forces. And if they survive, are selected to be pilots of the Roboskull, the Red Shadow's most fearsome weapon. Wolves might howl at the moon. These Wolf Troopers howl whilst in battle on the many moons of the galaxy. And from the Wolf Trooper, let's take a look at the Jungle Wolf Trooper. And if you're enjoying this review so far, please feel free to smash the like button and hit the hype button. So basically it's the same loadout of accessories as the Red Shadow's Wolf Troopers, but in camo and royal green. So we have the jetpack, titanium composite claws that Wolverine would give the seal of approval to, fisted hands, grenades and blast effect, the figure itself. And even in the packaging you can see the lovely camo pattern, which is very striking, 2 sci-fi rifles, and again some lovely artwork of the Jungle Wolf Trooper all armoured up and ready to take on any enemies he encounters. The Jungle Wolf Trooper is number 5 in the series, and on one side of the box we have some nice jungle artwork. The back of the box tells us that the Jungle Wolf Trooper is airborne infantry and a specialist in jungle warfare, and that his biography reads that the Jungle Wolf Troopers' pursuit of ancient secrets often leads the Red Shadows to distant and trackless corners of the world. Jungle Wolf Troopers rapidly deploy to these remote locations, rocketing over forest canopies and plunging into dense vegetation to quickly infiltrate targets that are otherwise impenetrable. Clad in camouflage armoured uniforms with specialised cooling systems for the extreme heat of jungle environments, I guess. And equipped with an arsenal of personal advanced firearms, a jetpack, titanium composite claws, the Jungle Wolf Predators are formidable predators that overpower anything which attempts to impede their mission. And then we have a Rudyard Kipling jungle book, quote, on then back of the box, if you can believe it. The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Shout out to Miguel, the Wolf Pack Toy Review. These wolf troopers are calling out to you. So, if you are interested in picking any of these up, I'll leave a link to the Skeleton website in the comments below. Both the Red Shadow Wolf Troopers and the Jungle Wolf Troopers, as well as the Gaia Wolf, which I didn't get, are all available at the time of this video. So you can see for yourself what they are like in hand. And you get those thoughts from me later in this video. Yakka de yak, here's Tac Tac.
And this video is not for kids. And like Mark says, let's get some first impressions of the Red Shadows Wolf Troopers and Jungle Wolf Troopers out of the box. So from Libby here, over to you, Mark.
Thanks, Libby. And so first time taking them out of the box, and they are very impressive and very good. Now, spoiler alert, I did take the Jungle Wolf Trooper out for the members video, which was a first look on camera. And so I got an in-hand look at these already. They feel so good in hand. The joints were quite smooth, and I did heat both figures up in hot water, but to be honest, they didn't really need it. The camo looks gorgeous on the Jungle Wolf Trooper and is even on the joints of the Jungle Wolf Trooper figure, which is particularly a nice touch. All the accessories fit onto the figure nicely, and we will get some of the gear on both figures to see them all armoured up. But let me know, have you got any of these guys in your collection yet? If so, what do you think of them? Let me know in the comments below. This is a nice little bit of posing, if I do say so myself, with both troopers standing to attention with their helmets under the arm. So, if you liked the original Action Force line from the 1980s, you can probably see the inspiration here, at least with the Red Shadows Wolf Trooper. Yes, we have had to wait years for these. Myself and Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse were discussing that, but they have finally arrived. And so, now we are going to have a 360-degree look at both figures, and immediately you can see on the Red Shadows Wolf Trooper all the matte black armor parts and even some grey elements of the uniform mixed into the black, such as on the middle of the mask and chest piece. And some nice tubes on the chest armor, as well as a logo relating to the Roboskull. As you can imagine, it's a very sci-fi uniform. And in my opinion, these guys would be at home amongst your G.I. Joe Classified, Valorverse, Action Force and Operation Monster Force figures, but also maybe your Star Wars Black Series. If you have a custom 1/12 scale diorama of the Cantina Bar, these guys could be in there having a drink, rubbing shoulders with the hive of scum and villainy. Now there's an idea. There is an add-on pack in particular for the Red Shadow Wolf Trooper, if you want even more accessories to load him out with a slightly different look. So what are your first impressions and thoughts on these? Let me know.
And the Jungle Wolf Troopers here could be battling alongside Ender Rebel Troopers and Ewoks against the Empire, in any Star Wars Black Series toy photography you decide to do, or maybe alongside the Operation Monster Force Phantom Corps, or the Valorverse Action Force Infantry Commando 2.0 guys, and that's just a few hand-picked options. There's so much potential for some fun toy photography here.
So let's have a look at the Wolf Trooper and what he comes with. So as you can see, the figures have a jetpack, 2 Wolverine-style claws which clip onto the wrist armor of the figure, a set of fisted hands, a blast effect and a pair of grenades, the figure himself and a Wolf Trooper helmet, 2 sci-fi style rifles. Trained and equipped with advanced experimental technology, a Wolf Trooper formidable arsenal includes a radiation-shielded armoured suit with HUD helmet, personal jetpack, zero-gravity firearms, and titanium composite combat claws. Exceptional Wolf Troopers are tested for their resilience and abilities in the most punishing G-forces.
And both figures also come with ammo clips for their rifles, and set of additional item holding hands, and the claws can be stored on the backpack, 2 grenades if Mark didn't mention that, and basically all the accessories are the same between the two figures apart from appropriate color differences.
And if you're enjoying this review so far, please feel free to smash the like button and hit the hype button. So basically it's the same loadout of accessories as the Red Shadow's Wolf Troopers, but in camo and royal green. So we have the jetpack, titanium composite claws that Wolverine would give the seal of approval to, fisted hands, grenades and blast effect, the figure itself. Clad in camouflage armoured uniforms with specialised cooling systems for the extreme heat of jungle environments, I guess. And equipped with an arsenal of personal advanced firearms, a jetpack. Titanium composite claws, the jungle wolf predators are formidable predators that overpower anything which attempts to impede their mission.
Right, so what you say we have a look at these guys all armoured up and ready for battle.
And I do like the unmasked head on both of these guys, but the Wolf Trooper helmets are also really cool. And they even have wolf ears on the helmets, which is cool. And the jungle camo is most appealing to me. And I've also heard that from a few reviewers I've watched as well. So again, if you're enjoying this review, make sure you show it some love in any way you can. Share it with collector friends who you think might enjoy these. And don't be shy. Feel free to comment below. I read and respond to all the comments below. The accessories do fit really easily on the figure, which is always a nice touch. Of course, the Red Shadow Wolf Troopers are the bread and butter of the line, but essentially pick your poison of the favourite ones you want to add to your collection. I think the only thing that would make things even better would be a re-release of the Roboskull vehicle. Roboskull don't know. Right then, and let's do some comparisons. And these Wolf Troopers probably explore different planets and areas of the galaxy, so no doubt they run into some cosmic characters like Gladiator of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. And they better hope he's on their side, as he's an absolute powerhouse. So this is the Marvel Legends 2-pack with Deathbird. I just picked this up from Star Action Figures, so I've finally got some new Marvel Legends in my collection. What cosmic or galactic figures have you got in your collection? Do you mix and match lines or keep them separate on your collecting shelves? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of Deathbird, well, she's up next. So let's have a look at her next. To the Wolf Troopers.
And so here is Deathbird. She's a nice figure, but for me personally the star of the 2-pack is Gladiator. And it's nice to see Mark with some Marvel Legends in hand. The Punisher and Nick Fury 2-pack is next on his radar. And you can mix that Nick Fury in with your G.I. Joes. And speaking of G.I. Joes, here's G.I. Joe Classified Starduster up for comparison with the Wolf Troopers.
And if you have been a viewer and regular on the channel, you'll have seen me gush over G.I. Joe Classified Starduster. He's my favourite classified figure so far, as I always say. The jump jetpack trooper vibe of the character is just really fun. And his devil-may-care attitude caps the character off for me. And if you're enjoying these comparisons between the Wolf Troopers and other action figure lines, let me know in the comments below. What is the main line you collect? For me, it's G.I. Joe Classified, with other 1/12 fantasy military lines, which can complement them, such as Operation Monster Force. So I feel the Skeletron 6-inch Wolf Troopers are tailor-made to go side by side with Classified. Ooh, I'm a poet and didn't know it. And some other figures that will complement your G.I. Joe Classified collection. And they are Fexed Hobby Acid Rain 6-inch action figures, and I have to tell you, they are bloody fantastic. But you can see what I think of them on more detail. I have all of Wave 1, and they are absolutely great figures. We really are getting some great stuff towards the end of 2025. No doubt these Acid Rain 6-inch figures are going to be in people's top 10 of 2025. And spoiler alert, they're going to be in mine. And another line that you can mix in your Skeletron Wolf Troopers is of course Fexed Hobby Acid Rain, but also Valorverse Action Force. So let's have a look at that next. And let me know if you have picked up the Fext Hobby Acid Rain figures from Wave 1 or any Valaverse Action Force figures in the comments below.
So here is the Valaverse action figure Delta Trooper alongside the Wolf Troopers. Is quite like that Day of the Dead Sidewinder character that's a convention exclusive from Action Force. I'm also excited to see what characters we get from Skeletron in future 6-inch waves of Roboskull characters.
And here is G.I. Joe classified Sergeant Slaughter in his Slaughter's Marauders fatigues alongside the Wolf Troopers. So just like Starduster earlier, this is a G.I. Joe classified figure. Although Sergeant Slaughter is on the bigger and chunkier side compared to a standard G.I. Joe classified figure, but again, in my opinion, G.I. Joe classified and Valaverse Action Force and Operation Monster Force are probably the lines that you will be mixing in. The Skeletron Roboskull, 6-inch Wolf Troopers in with, but of course there's nothing to stop you mixing them in with Marvel Legends or anything like that. I can't wait to see if we get more 6-inch Wolf Troopers in other styles from the team behind Roboskull. Seeing the blue in Sergeant Slaughter's uniform makes me think an Aqua Wolf Trooper might be cool, all in blue, or a Snow Wolf Trooper for water or snow environments respectively. I'm guessing these did fairly well from the Kickstarter for more to appear at some point down the line.
And then of course in the Energon universe, G.I. Joe has crossed paths briefly here and there with Transformers. We are building up to it more, and whilst these aren't Transformers, you can mix in your Wolf Troopers with Astrobots and G.I. Joe classified for some epic world building. The Astrobots line has been available at Kapow Toys, as well as Big Bad Toy Store if you're interested. I'll see if I can leave links in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this review, smash the like button, hit the hype button, and feel free to leave any thoughts and feedback in the comments below. And feel free to consider becoming a channel member where videos include a first look at figures and also just casual chats about topics around action figure collecting.
And feel free to check out my G.I. Joe classified 65th anniversary Halo jumper and Marine sniper from AliExpress factory excess of KOs, or whatever they are. I have a review up on the channel. And just having the Halo jumper and Marine sniper alongside the Skeletron Wolf Troopers, you can see how much more detailed the camo patterns are on the Jungle Wolf Trooper compared to these classified figures. So that's some comparisons with some other action figure lines we will have more upcoming later in the video. But now let's take a look at the Wolf Troopers Articulation 1. For all the articulation junkies and action figure posers out there. And as I mentioned, one thing that did impress me in particular was how smooth the joints were, straight out of the package. Yes, they needed a little heat, but they were more or less good to go. So here is the G.I. Joe, classified 65th anniversary Halo jumper and Marine sniper from AliExpress review, is up on the channel. And let's look at the Wolf Troopers articulation. So yes, let's have a look at the articulation scheme. And it was all very smooth out of the package. Obviously, as you can imagine, the articulation is the same on both figures, but it'll show it to you on both figures for the hell of it. As you can see, I've removed the armour and accessories for the sake of giving you a better look at the articulation. The head looks up and down not a great deal, but a bit the armoured vest might limit that a bit, to be fair. You can swivel or turn the head round 360 degrees if you want to break the poor guy's neck. Arms go out to a T-pose very easily. Double jointed elbows that are really good and bend really deeply. Bicep swivel and butterfly joints. The gauntlets actually have a swivel as well, and the wrists go round in a 360 degree motion. A good amount of range at the waist. I couldn't initially see a drop down leg, but I think it's there. Thigh cuts, double jointed knees, boot cuts, and ankle movement. But not an ankle pivot. You can actually remove the vest if you want to. I saw that on D Amazing's review, so there is a double neck, T-pose, double jointed elbows, bicep cut, and butterfly joints. Gauntlet forearm swivel, 360 wrist rotation, diaphragm cut and waist ball joint, thigh cuts, double jointed knees, boot cuts and ankle rotation, and the figures are all pinless, as you can imagine. If you're enjoying this review, make sure you show it some love in any way you can. Share it with collector friends who you think might enjoy these, and don't be shy. Feel free to comment below. I read and respond to all the comments below. Obviously, as you can imagine, the articulation is the same on both figures. As you can see, I've removed the armour and accessories for the sake of giving you a better look at the articulation. The head looks up and down not a great deal, but a bit the armoured vest might limit that a bit, to be fair. You can swivel or turn the head round 360 degrees if you want to break the poor guy's neck. Arms go out to a T-pose very easily. Double jointed elbows that are really good and bend really deeply. Bicep swivel and butterfly joints. The gauntlets actually have a swivel as well, and the wrists go round in a 360 degree motion, a good amount of range at the waist. I couldn't initially see a drop down leg, but I think it's there. Thigh cuts, double jointed knees, boot cuts, and ankle movement. But not an ankle pivot. You can actually remove the vest if you want to. I saw that on D Amazing's review, so there is a double neck, T-pose, double jointed elbows, bicep cut and butterfly joints. Gauntlet forearm swivel, 360 wrist rotation, diaphragm cut and waist ball joint, thigh cuts, double jointed knees, boot cuts and ankle rotation, and the figures are all pinless, as you can imagine. And as I mentioned, one thing that did impress me in particular was how smooth the joints were, straight out of the package. For all the articulation junkies and action figure posers out there, if you're enjoying this review, make sure you show it some love in any way you can. Share it with collector friends who you think might enjoy these, and don't be shy. Feel free to comment below. I read and respond to all the comments below.
And if you're enjoying this review so far, please do smash the like button, hit the hype button and consider subscribing. And if you enjoy Mark's content in general, feel free to check out the Storm Arena Barky review. And here's Barky next to Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And seeing Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man leads us nicely into shoutouts. So from Renew Your Vows Spider-Man in Marvel Legends form, let's have a look at Dan Who Reviews. And for all the latest Marvel Legends news and reviews, check out Dan Who Reviews. And you can of course check out Joe's and Juice, and feel free to check out Mark's video on Operation Monster Force. And here is the Phantom Corps and Apophis Legion next to Mattel DC Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. And check out Miguel and the Wolf Pack toy review. These Wolf Troopers have your name on them, Miguel. Check out Kapow Toys, comics and cocktails, in-demand toys, props and replicas and all the cool stuff. Gobsmack Comics. Star Action Figures are from Star Action Figures. Mark picked up the Jada SDCC Street Fighter 2 M Bison and Dalsim, and link will be down in the comments below. Check out Hero of Collectors, Brian's action figure reviews, 1/6 Shooter, the whole shebang. Cypher Sigma, Elson, Toy Picks, Jay's Toy Collection UK, Infinity Equation, AC Toy Design, Robo Don't Know, Justin Collects, Emporium of Cool, Moxtra Games and Collectibles, Mikey Moon Boots, Complusive Collector John and Encountered Culture Kenny. And links for everything should be available, but if Mark has missed anything, please let us know. Right then, and let's jump back into the comparisons, and here we have the Wolf Troopers, next to the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom main hero pale, and Mark does always say this in action figure review videos in the comparison section. These Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figures are absolutely fantastic and really good smooth articulation. So posable, great for any toy photography or display options you might have in mind. Props and replicas often stock the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom here in the UK, and Big Bad Toy Store is another option, and the Spio Toys website itself, plenty of places to pick them up. And they really are worth it even if you only get one.
Thanks, Libby. And then from the very nicely articulated Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, we go to McFarlane Toys. And here is the character Plague from the Spawn line. There's very nice dry brushing on this figure. So again, these characters are from completely different walks of life. Spacefaring wolf troops meet demonic creatures and characters in the Spawn universe from Todd McFarlane. McFarlane Toys and Spawn Toys were pioneers of action figure innovations in the 90s. So it's really interesting to see some really nice sci-fi fantasy military figures alongside McFarlane Toys Spawn figures here. But what do you think of McFarlane Toys? Let me know your thoughts, opinions and feelings in the comments below. And then a comparison that's probably very appropriate. The NECA Broken Tusk Predator hunting the Skeletron Wolf Troopers. He's using the trees, watching and waiting, picking them off one by one. Stick around Mac. He's going to have him some fun. So, yeah, a NECA Predator alongside the Wolf Troopers. The Jungle Wolf Troopers would probably be able to give the Predators a run for their money on some of the jungle planets of the galaxy. Have you got any NECA Predators in your collection? If so, which ones? If the license ever passes on from NECA, as Marvel Comics have the license for Alien and Predator comics, I'd love to see Hasbro take a crack at Alien and Predator figures. 52 Toys will be doing some 1/12 scale Predator and Alien figures, so a few different options for your collection. Anyway, here's the Wolf Troopers ready to do battle with the Predator. Oh look, and they have survived their encounter with the Predator just in time for some final thoughts. Well, I've had some more time to play with these figures now, and there are a few things I would tweak. The feet don't peg into the stands very easily, and the grenades don't fit into the belts on the figures very easily. But apart from that, there is so much to like. I'll be doing a top 10 of 2025, and alongside Fexed Hobby Acid Rain, these Skeletron Roboskull Wolf Red Shadow and Jungle Wolf figures will be on that list. The articulation was so smooth straight out of the package, the accessories fit into the figure's hands. And on the figure so nicely, with the exception of the grenades, the paint apps are really well done. One noteworthy thing is that the camo paint apps are even visible on the Jungle Wolf Troopers joints. The Jungle Trooper was the one that stood out to me the most. But the two characters I have, the Red Shadow Wolf and Jungle Wolf, are excellent. I didn't pick up the Gaia Wolf, but that one also looks excellent. I'll provide the link to the Skeletron website if you want some of these, so I'd have to give these a 9.8. At least, I think the only disappointing thing is we have had to wait so long for these. And some areas of improvement could be better foot attachments to the pegs on the stand and better ability to fit the grenades on the figure's belt. Well, hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know any thoughts, opinions, feedback and comments you have down below in the comments. And until next time, enjoy those flicks and figs.